All right, so the killing on Monday of Gauteng health official Babita Deokaran has once again raised concerns about how well we protect our whistleblowers. The Special Investigating Unit confirmed Deokaran was a witness in a probe into PPE purchase irregularities. It's raised many concerns about the safety of people who decide to speak out against corruption. I'm joined now by Neeshan Bolton, Director of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation. Mr. Bolton, thank you so much. You believe it was a direct hit, even though the police say it's not been proved as such. Why are you so convinced of this?
Well, I went to the house, I looked at the vehicle. For 8 bullets to have been pumped into that car in a short space of time, and for people to have made the getaway with such speed, could only have been a very planned execution. And for them to have known arrival time after having dropped off a child at school would further reinforce that particular notion. And lastly, it's unproven at this point, but there were suspicions that there was some tampering with all of the electronic systems in the area at the time, which jammed all of the CCTV cameras of neighbors and everybody else. And that for me said that this was a highly specialized operation with one intention, and that was to make sure that Babita didn't survive at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's an absolutely tragic and awful event. It's interesting, though, the Special Investigating Unit says that she had already given them her testimony and her statements. In other words, all the information she had about these PPE irregularities, I think suggesting that if she was going to be a target for the PPE corruption stuff, she would have been targeted sooner. What do you make of that?
Well, there's two things. One, it does weaken her absence and direct testimony will probably weaken the case a bit. But secondly, I suppose the intention is to send fear for all of the others who are likely to be testifying in the PPE scandals in Gauteng. But more importantly, it's meant to send a message to all other anti-corruption public sector workers across the country, that if they dare to open their mouths, this is what will likely be their fate. So I think the intention is broader than Babita. It is really part of an overall, it's a wider campaign to stop the growing tide, to stamp out corruption in this country.
Why have you, as part of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, deemed it necessary to speak out? Are there changes that you're calling for? Is there a specific issue that you think needs to be highlighted?
Well, we've been dealing with the issue of state capture and corruption for the last few years, well, at least the last 5 or 6 years. The issue of whistleblowers, the issues of policy amendments to the whistleblower legislation is something that we and others have advocated for. Greater security for whistleblowers has been foremost amongst the demands. But I think in this particular case, threat analysis should have been done, even if she hadn't requested other kinds of security support. And I would suggest going forward, for all other people working with the SIU, a basic threat analysis for all of them needs to be done continuously. Because I think in her case, it was very difficult to put herself in witness protection and so forth. But I think a little bit more could have been done to anticipate the kind of attack that took place. And I would hope that the state learns from this and doubles up efforts for all of those who are still working with them now, because they should not lose courage. If they do, then all of those who are implicated in corruption would have won this battle.
Thank you so much for chatting to us this evening. That was Neeshan Bolton, Director of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, and they are of the view that it was very much a hit on Babita Deokaran's life, and they say that not only was her car riddled with bullets, but it seems that the CCTV cameras in the area were also tampered with, possibly as part of that hit. Still to come.